Good morning. My name is Sherry Howard. I'm a member of the Brooklin-Whitby Garden Club. I'm also a certified, horticultural and floral design judge for the Ontario Horticultural Association.
My name is Debbie Foster. I'm a member of the Oshawa Garden Club as well as the Brooklyn Club. I'm also an OHA judge. I would like to acknowledge that we are gathering on the traditional territories of the Mississauga of Scugog Island First Nation.
So today what we want to do is to show you how you can bring your peonies in from the garden, and we're going to show some simple, easy ways to show off the peonies using things that you might already have around the home.
So one of the easiest ways to show a peony is just simply having it in water. So what I've done, I have a shallow bowl. I've cut the stem very, very short so that the peony is actually floating in the water. And I've just added a few cedar branches around the edge just to give it a little bit of greenery.
You know what? If you've got something like this, you go to the thrift shop or you go to the dollar store, grab a few stones. You could do something very simple like this. And of course, this is just a simple hosta leaf, but they're just beautiful together, beautiful colors. I've got a simple bowl that I found at the thrift shop, and just a clear bowl. But to make your bowl a little fancier, I've just cut some leaves from my garden, and what I've done is simply just ring the leaves around the bowl. That alone just decorates your bowl. Fill up with water. I really do want this bloom to float in my bowl. So I'm gonna start there, and there you go. Real simple.
And I have a collection of other little jars here. They're just antique kind of glass jars. They're very interesting. I've chosen 3 different shapes, 3 different heights. I'm going to take the extra leaves off. I don't want leaves in the water. That's going to be an area that we can have bacterial growth. Sometimes it takes a while to figure out where you want them in terms of height, and just stick it in so it helps secure it a little bit. Maybe gives it a little bit of background too.
Okay, yeah. And the leaves themselves are just as pretty. I found this teapot, and I've just grabbed some vines, bent them, just to kind of echo the round bloom, and the vine lets some of it hang down. And so it's just water inside the teapot or coffee pot. Yeah, and then this is something which I call an Ikebana inspired design. Ikebana is the Japanese art of flower arranging. Ikebana means living flower. What I've done is I've simply put one stem here. This is to represent heaven. This stem is to represent mankind, and this bloom alone here is to represent the earth. So you could see that this type of a design has way more open space. Space is just as important as having your container filled full of blooms. But in Ikebana, it's okay. You can have space. It can be asymmetrical.
Sherry has secured that using something called a frog or a Kenzan. The typical one is round. This one is a nice long oval.
What are they made of, Deb?
They're made of a very heavy metal. Okay. Most of them are painted so they don't rust. And I've used a frog in here as well. Just another single bloom. This is a lovely double. And I've added some heuchera, some Japanese maple branches, and then some hostas. Before we were just using one bloom at a time, in combination sometimes, but now what I've done is I've put 3 together. I've just got a dollar store vase. I have a lovely little single, a semi-double, and a full double. So they're different colors, different styles, and then I just went out into the field, literally, and picked some just grass, ryegrass. And I'm going to dress up this vase. I've got a piece of fabric, and I can just wrap it up. Just if I don't like the look of the stems, I can always just wrap it up. And
if you have a little fancier vase, I mean, this is very similar to what Debbie has done. All I've done is my vase looks a little fancier, and I've added some different greenery. So I've got hosta leaves, I've got some sweet peas from the garden, and again, I've arranged 3 similar peonies together. What this is essentially a bowl. So you can get a cereal bowl, any sort of little bowl, and what's holding the blooms and the greenery in place is chicken wire. So there's what Deb, so you can buy chicken wire at the dollar store, cut it to whatever size, scrunch it together, put it in your bowl, and put a little masking tape on it just to hold it in place. And then you can start cutting your floral material and placing it however you want. And if you don't have chicken wire, masking tape. Deb here used duct tape actually. There's another use for duct tape.
If you've got lots and lots of peonies, if you're blessed with a beautiful garden like Judy's behind us, then you can do something stunning like this.
And all we've done is simply cut a number of beautiful peonies, all different varieties. We've just added a little bit of iris leaves from our garden, some sweet peas from the garden, and just some additional leaves from the peonies. These are just as pretty to add along. Deb, what are these?
Those are the seed pods. So once the flower has finished, inside, that's where you'd find those seeds there. And they come in 2s, 3s, and 4s. They're all different numbers depending on the variety. Sometimes the same variety will have different ones, just depends on the plant.
We hope you've enjoyed our display of peonies and some of our simple how-tos.
And thank you to TD Canada Trust for supporting us to do this display for you. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.